Okay, so once again, welcome guys. I have just hit the record button, so let's get into the order of the day. That is basically that candle there, and because it is a 1 hour candle, we can actually see that it grew within four candles. But if you look at the 4 hour, now there we see it actually jumped 55, 58. And there's a reason why it obviously stopped there. So I always prefer using um, Trading View. So let me just make the screen bigger. Okay, so like I said, we are first going to look at what the markets are actually doing, what Bitcoin is doing specifically, because in most cases, Bitcoin actually has an impact on the other coins that we are trading. So I decided, you know what, whatever I actually had up to date, I actually took it out because that is what your eye will obviously already see. But I would like to actually get to the reason why that zones are there and why like all the lines, etc. So I don't just want to put them in. So this is on the 1 hour, but before we get on to the 1 hour, let's just take this out. We'll go to the 4 hours. So this weekend, when I was actually trading, then I was trading in between this, and you can actually understand that we had this last supply zone. Then where is that 55? I think it was this one. So irrespective of what happened throughout Saturday, Sunday, it always stayed in between these. So I just had that on, and I was actually preparing myself for this week to actually just trade in between those because I mean, nobody knew. Okay, there was some that actually knew about news coming out today, and obviously how it will affect the market. Let me just increase it. I can remember in 2017 when Australia in May when they actually accepted cryptocurrencies as the second form of payment. Then Bitcoin went from around about 10,000, 9,000 to 16,000. And then in June, we saw that China actually once again accepted Bitcoin as a second form of payment. Then it also went from around about 16 to over 32 to around about 33. And that is basically what happens when obviously there's FOMO. So people hear, okay, now this big shot is coming in, whether it's a country or company or yeah, a person, maybe a billionaire, and then people tend to react to it. So I was preparing myself to actually trade in between these zones. This is obviously the 4 hours, so you will only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. But if you were to actually broaden it up to 1 hour, and then you'll actually find that there's quite a lot of trades in there. So with up, obviously, let me. I always assume that everybody uses the RSI. So let me just. So this was my plan the entire for basically for the week, not anticipating what's going to happen here because we saw that this demand zone, it was tested, but it wasn't like I didn't feel that, you know what, this the zone is tested thoroughly, because it just touched it. It just kept touching it and coming back, touching it, coming back. However, what the news was actually so bullish that it went through there one shot. Within 1 hour, it basically went through. Normally, I would look at whether it maybe goes to the middle, and expect it maybe to go through, come back, or maybe just go through, but they tested a bit high there. But we saw what happened here. This thing went like, how much? What's the percentage past? Around about 2%. It went past this supply zone. So this obviously made this supply zone obsolete. So what I did was I deleted it, and I put in some buy. I put in the buy zone, the supply zone here, because we can obviously see that there's a hidden supply zone, a hidden demand zone. So I wasn't anticipating it to immediately come back to here, maybe here, but because I actually saw this, this is what I put in. So obviously before the call, I took it out because I didn't want you to only see the result. Okay. Let's extend it. So whilst it was continue going up, I didn't obviously want to chase it because some of my funds was in USDT, and you don't want to chase it, especially if you are going to actually trade during the course of the day, trade daily. So this could have taken 2 days, 1 day, but it actually came back within 1 day. So this we could have actually anticipated from here. Remember, obviously those who have the Pro knows that wherever we see a demand zone, if there's some cash to actually trade, go and put some cash there to trade. So we saw it actually came back to this. And if we were to change this to the 15-minute, you would see that it came there, it went back up. So you could have obviously taken that what one point whatever percent there. But here we can see that there's actually a supply zone, but in other words, there's basically a resistance here. But this resistance we obviously anticipated because if we remember, if we are if we on a daily basis we drew our zones, then we would have obviously like, when was it? A few weeks ago, when this actually acted as a supply zone. So we saw Bitcoin kept actually turning around there. I did not anticipate it going through this because I also had a supply zone here, because obviously here we saw it coming down, drop, base, drop. So I had a supply zone here, but I had to take it out because it went through, so it made it obsolete. But here I actually took profit because I anticipated when it went through here, I anticipated it to actually stop here because this supply zone was here. Or let me just put up a horizontal line so you can see where I'm referring to. So it struggled a bit to actually go through, but there we see it obviously couldn't make it. So this, I had to take this out. So for me, because I actually put in some buy some orders here, took it up, but I'm still comfortable with actually getting in here. Remember what I always say, that it is not financial advice, but we're basically sharing what we are doing. So let me just extend this a bit. And that is the same thing that I went and actually did with the altcoin that I'm trading. Now, so today I actually did something that I've never done before. I told Onke earlier, you know what? Now I can actually, I actually told him I'm doing something that I've never done before. And my mentor always, when he would go into trades, then he's in a long and he's in a short. And I'm like, what? How do you do that? And why do you actually do it? Because it seems that it is basically guessing. But because I took position in that specific coin of mine over the weekend, and when I actually saw it going up to, it's around about 1.23. But when it, let's say it was Bitcoin, right? So as it went up, here I took some profit. Like I told you guys, I was expecting it to come back right here because here was a strong supply zone. But because it went up with a leftover, so obviously I didn't get out of my position. I just moved my stop loss up. So what do I mean with that? Let's say Bitcoin was here, I got in here, and now it moves up there. Remember when I got in here, I put my stop loss here. So now when it goes up to there, I go and put it here. But obviously we have a software that does it on our behalf. But this, it went up there, I put my stop loss there. So it obviously came back. It took me out, but I was happy because I could actually, over the weekend, like I said, I went in roundabout there with that specific coin, and that specific coin actually followed exactly Bitcoin. So I'm not sure which coin you were trading, whether it is only Bitcoin, but that it actually gave me a bit more than 4%. But yeah, so because I got in there, most of my position I actually got out there, but the rest I actually got out around about here. Why? Because I obviously kept on moving my stop loss up. Now, I've got a question for you guys. And I'm sure that you are actually not only trading Bitcoin. So if you are trading a specific coin, then you need to know what's obviously going on there. If you are doing the research in terms of the third video in our intro. Now, what community are you part of? When I say community, like we are Coinbit Pro, we are a community, but Ethereum holders, they are also a community. Those of you, most of you know that I'm fond of the project ADA, so I'm part of that community. So I know what's going on there. I'm always reading the stuff that's going on, etc. So which community are you part of? Or let me rephrase it. Which project are you fond of? Which project are you fond of?
Two in my case, ADA and AVA, the two, AVA and ADA. I enjoy both of them.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's so easy, eh?
Well, you go with what works, eh?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You go with what works. You go with what works. So, anything off your head? What's happening in the AVA community at this point of time, Gordon?
Well, and this is my personal opinion. My personal opinion, you know, the world is opening up after this lengthy COVID thing. Certainly here in Thailand, where I am. I mean, when you go out on the streets and out at night, life is almost back to normal. It's almost scary to believe that in South Africa and in other parts of the world, things are still being locked down and all of that. But we have total freedom here. It's amazing. But the reality is, I think things are turning around. And my wife she does a lot of trading on the stock market, and all the shares that are related to traveling have suddenly spiked in the last week or two. So I think there's a lot of positivity around international travel opening up. It's around the corner, and I think anything to do with travel will boost AVA for sure.
Fantastic. So, Gordon, we're not going to speak numbers or percentages. Are you making money with AVA?
Not as much as I should. I should have traded it more actively, to be honest with you. But yes, I am making money. I think I've kind of trebled my initial portfolio, but I could have done a lot better if I'd actively traded it, you know, buy the dips and sell on the highs and then buy on the dips again. And I can kick myself for not trading it actively, but yes, it's definitely a good project.
Okay, so that is obviously based on Gordon's appetite. So he's making money on it, but he knows that he could have made more. So the reason why I asked this question, if you are not part of a community, then you are basically, think of myself. If I were to not be part of a community, like physically, I don't, without, in fact, there's a saying that says that it takes a community to actually raise a child. So I want you to think of the bigger picture. You cannot not be part of a community and be a trader. You don't have to be part of one community, but you need, unless you are only going to, remember, when it comes to Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, then you are part of a community. Then you will actually only trade Bitcoin and USDT. Yes, I know that Bitcoin, obviously, it results to moving the altcoins. But if you are not part of a community, then you will always be needing some second opinion from someone else to actually make trades. And when that is the case, then that will actually result to buying signals, etc. So you will, I wouldn't say that there's anything wrong with buying signals, but you will only actually rely on that. Many times when buying signals, people buy signals, but you get the signal and you go and do the research. Why is this signal actually good? When you go into it. In fact, many mentorships says that you must still do your own research. Thanks so much, Clayton. You must still do your own research. So everybody else on this call here, which community are we part of? I know if you are going to only trade on technical analysis, then you will obviously not have to do a fundamental analysis. However, it's important to, in my opinion, to actually know what the project is about, because the project could have actually died out if the developers don't have money to actually take the project further. I see that Carla unmuted herself. So, Carla, is there any?
Yeah, I'm Lucian. Hello. I'm part of the mining city, the BTCV.
Yes. So, when it comes to that, same, that is basically a very easy project to actually trade. So, especially when there's a, let's say the CEO is doing a call, then the price tends to go up, or there's a big meeting, then the price tends to go up. One would buy low, sell it high. Obviously, it's not on Binance, etc. Those two projects, so one cannot nicely short them. But yeah, but it's important to actually be part of it. Now tell me, Carla, are you trading those specific coins?
I'm finding it hard to trade BTCV because it's just going down at the moment, but a little bit, not too much. I just stick to Bitcoin and USDT. I think that's
Okay.
easier for me.
Okay. So at this point of time, you're only doing you're only doing spot trading. Spot trading is basically buying low and selling high. Okay. So any other
Yes.
projects that you are part of, or a community that you guys are part of?
Hi, Lucian.
Go for it, Tomke.
Before today, I think in your first training, I heard you say common knowledge is not common practice, and I think we quote this every time we meet. I would like to be honest and say I haven't been active in a community when it comes to the project or your favorite project that I've adopted. I've just stuck to the technical and partly fundamental analysis. So I think I've found myself being left out. So for example, I would probably like be a month too late when it comes to surges where I could have entered based on a community based on more fundamental analysis than I'm doing now. So I like the fact that you are asking us to be accountable for our own growth in the space of trading, especially me who's looking to do it more full time. By full time, I mean quit my job and do it full time. So I'm learning as you are speaking. So my silence, not that I'm not participating, I'm just marinating on the information that you're sharing with us, that it is important to be part of these communities as much as there's noise in the groups, a lot of people talking there, but there are 2 or 3 good posts per day that a person can capitalize and leverage on. So yeah, I'm just learning a lot from that. And yeah, I'll definitely look into getting into a community of the projects that I'm actually following. And I know you did share how to get involved in those communities. I don't know if everyone else knows that.
I was just thinking, you know what, I'm going to take a minute and actually show that.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Remember, if we are quiet, that we can only assume, right? Because we don't have any answers. So if you do not know how to actually research a coin, go back to your intro package, video number 3, and we'll show you exactly on how to do it. Just in short, let me quickly, I'll just use CoinMarketCap. For instance, AVA, AVA, not the other one. Okay. AVA. Or any project, you go here and you go and see any project. The other day I was actually something that I don't know about you, but Polkadot, I knew that it is actually in competition with Ethereum and ADA. So I thought, you know what, it is kind of good to actually know, because I know exactly when the community is bearish, when it is on Cardano. So when they are bearish, and if I can be part of this community as well, because this is basically their competition. So, and if things are bullish here, then I can obviously only move over my funds and obviously benefit from that growth. So from CoinMarketCap, you click on the specific coin, you go to their website, you will be able to go and read there. The CEO is doing a nice video there where he speaks on what the roadmap of Polkadot is. So there's a nice video. This was what I actually did with my time yesterday. Their community, this is nice. So you can either go to Twitter to head it, or Medium. Chat, I haven't followed this one. Let's see, it's Telegram. So you can also be part of the Telegram group. So there you see that I'm already part of it. So you need to be in there, listen when big things are happening, maybe find out where the founder is more active on Twitter or wherever, or those, it's not always the founder, then it's maybe one of the managers or whatever who always do a report. So you can get the information from them first. And if you hear it's good news, get in. So for instance, I didn't want to come to this specific coin, but I think it's kind of important to actually show this specific project. I knew last week that there was actually a call, Cardano 360. So they did a call, and as a result, during the week, I already took position. So look at this growth. What is this? 39. No, this was the Coinbase listing with that we got at 39. Then last week we basically got this from that specific call with the founder, etc., where they were sharing what they are actually what they have achieved this far, etc. So there was another 13%. So because I knew that information, because I'm part of the community, I could actually partake in that. So that I want to do for this specific coin. You don't want to be taking on 3, 4, 5 coins all at once. Choose one, go to CoinMarketCap or go to CoinGecko. Choose one. You can go and read up on all of them and find out one that you are quite quite interesting, and then do some research on it. Find out, get into the community. Obviously, you don't want to be researching these stable coins. So because they are just stable coins, they are not moving anywhere, they're not going up or down. So that will help you significantly in terms of your trading. So you will obviously, like I've actually used Bitcoin here. I've seen it doing this, but I could actually implement the same strategy in the specific coin that I'm actually trading. And what I did, I remember last week what we shared. Let's just go to trade advanced. Last week we shared how do we research, and then how do we trade spot in terms of buying low, selling high. And then again, we did the second time, if you weren't here last week, how to actually choose the top and then short it actually going down. So that is basically what I have done today. And that is what I actually was speaking about earlier. So I will be actually showing that also. So are there any questions before we round up and before I obviously show? Any questions? Anything that you are struggling with? Guys, if you are not trading as yet, and if you are not talking, then it's not going to, we won't know that you actually need help. So it's important that you need help, and you need to ask on this call, even if you just send me a WhatsApp so I can actually see it. But I would like to obviously do some extra videos during the course of the week. Sometimes people ask me a question and I say I'll record a video, but then I don't get to it. And I specifically put out Mondays to be on a call to answer all the questions that you might have. So if there are any questions where you are finding yourself stuck right now, ask the question So we can actually spend a few minutes on that before we have wrap up. So I'm going to show how I actually have done that. So basically going long and then also shorting the market. So I log into this account because it is not so active. I was actually surprised that I still know the password of this account. But remember what we said when buying. How do I know when a position is open? I'm not sure what Jacqueline is saying there. So how do I know when the bull run is over? Are you referring to the overall bull run, the crypto bull run, or just basically today's short bull run? But I believe that it's obviously not going to end here because others will follow suit. And because of today's news, other people will basically get their hands on money, or they'll have to make some money lose because they have FOMO and it will take days. So this bull run can still continue. So what I showed earlier was we knew this should actually be a supply zone. We knew here that obviously there's a supply zone there. So I thought here that this today's bull run is over. That's why I actually exited most of my position. But when I saw it actually going up, 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 I once again put some orders in here, obviously anticipating it to obviously come back. It came back and actually went up, but I exited it because I'm actually waiting for it to obviously come back once again. But like I said, I'm fairly comfortable trading here at this point of time. And I'll obviously also use that in terms of the specific coins that I'm using. So you will have to look at the volume, for instance, because here you can see that those, in fact, let me be more effective and take out my brush. So I would look at different things. What color is this now? Okay, so here we can see that the volume is low. If you are referring to today's bull run, basically I would have to look at these and I'll say, okay, you know what, this is quite impulsive. These ones, this 1, 2, 3. So this is not sustainable. Same here. So obviously, when that actually stops the hands out, and then your RSI will also show that, you know what, it's actually overbought at this point of time. Then you see the small candles, then maybe it's time for you to actually put in some stop losses, or if everything looks well, to actually go into a short. But that is basically what I am doing there. Or that is how I determine, you know what, maybe this train needs to still reload and put some fuel in. So as we can actually see here. But like I said, Visa actually brought out that news today. Remember, like I said, people don't obviously always have a big companies maybe waited for what's his name for Visa to actually get involved, because Visa saw that, you know what, Tesla is actually eating a huge chunk of the pie. So if they are going to stay out for much longer, MasterCard already obviously agreed to actually also get into the space. So now they got in. So this is basically a ripple effect. So in my opinion, we are still going to be in a bull run up until, I'm speaking now overall, up until late in this year. So that there's quite a lot of institutions that is actually getting in, like I said, in my opinion. So earlier I said that I did something today that I don't normally do. So this was basically it. So like I said, I took position, and I took position here. So I will actually go to the specific coin. Let's just click on this. Let's wait for it. In fact, let me analyze it here. Okay. So it's the 1 hour. I'll just make it a bit bigger so you guys can see. So over this weekend, this week looked something like this. No. Looked something like this. Yes, we broke through below and struggled there. So this was what I actually do. Then I was actually comfortable in getting in here and then getting out around about here. So as soon as it crossed over the Bollinger Band in the middle, or reached it, and my RSI agreed, I would get out. I got in, I would get out. Obviously, this is a huge sign for you to actually get out. So, but when it broke through here, I actually anticipated it. You know what? It's maybe not going to go much further to the end. It's just going to get out here. So I was actually a bit scared to once again get in. So I waited for it to actually get back into the zone, because I know that there's something exciting happening in the month of April. It can happen anytime now. So when I saw it coming back in, I actually got in once again here. I got out, I got in once again here, but that was the time when I actually left my house. That was, and then this, when this happened, this was actually it responded to what Bitcoin did. So Bitcoin, what did Bitcoin did today? So this responded, it went right through. It didn't respect this. Yeah, once again, then it went right through. But I know obviously that here on the 1.23, there's a major resistance there. So we tried it a few times. You can see there, here, here. We tried it a few times. So when it got there, and when it got rejected, I felt comfortable actually in shorting it. So because I was in this trade here, I got in here, I was happy with this growth. So I'm not going to show once again how to make a buy order, but I was happy with this growth. So I kept moving my stop loss up. But I will show how, for those, I know that there's obviously more appetite for derivatives. I would take my ADA coin. So let me first go to wallet, fiat. I would transfer fiat to, oh no. Oh no. Okay. Okay. 100. Confirm. Okay. Let me convert this also and show exactly what I've done. How I basically went long and I shorted the market. 1 to 20. Okay, it's not much. I'll just get out here just to show you the exact strategy that I actually used. 100% of it, market. Okay, so I want you to take note here. I sent some ADA coins or any other coin that you are actually trading, any coin, guys. So I transfer the specific altcoin to Coin M futures, right? And then the US dollar, the USDT, I transferred here to USDT futures. So there I can send my tether or my dollars. So I send some AVA to the one, and then I send some USDT there. So you obviously go to derivatives, Coin M futures. Now, if here when you are trading, you are obviously okay. Let me first go there. So go here once again, Coin M futures, ADA. Make sure that it's the specific coin that you are using and USD. You can see I'm not using the USDT, USD. Okay. Now, guys, here you are trading and making your coins. You're making your coins more. You are not swapping it over to USDT when you are trading here. Remember that. So if let's say I've got 265, right? 265. Yeah, 75. So I would obviously, what I do is I always have it on either ×1, ×2, or 3. But let's leave it for ×1 if you are new. You can always ask more, confirm. So it's ×1. So let's say I'm happy. And I say, you know what? That specific coin is going to go up. And that is what I did when I got in at around about 1.18. So when it was there, I did this. Remember that is ×1, eh? So I bought long. So then as it went up, I obviously moved my stop loss along. It went up, 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 up. Then when I saw it actually being rejected, even though my stop loss did not kick in as yet, when I saw it actually being rejected, because I know this supply zone is quite strong here. What I did was, even though I wasn't a long going up here, I put in my stop loss. So let's say I obviously wasn't profit, so it showed green here. So I would click here, put in my stop loss at 1 point. Obviously, I'll need to put it below this here. So you can see there's the market price. So I need to put it below. But obviously, when you're starting out, you would want to do this first. So what I would do is if I'm getting in there, I would calculate the percentage. So in this case, I obviously took it below this wick because this wick acted as a resistance. So I put it below the wick. So let's say put the stop loss at 1.17. So stop loss 1.17. Confirm. So I got in here. If it went through this wick, which it didn't, then my stop loss would have. You don't want to be putting your stop loss above the resistance, because obviously then it would get hit and maybe still retrace because when it hits the resistance. So I kept moving it up, and then my stop loss was around about here. But when it got there, even though I was still in a long, I went over. I put my stop loss in there. I went over, and USD, and the same coin. No. ADA, USDT, because it was way up there. You'll see here's my dollars that I actually sent there. Then I sold, I shorted. So let me just go and take a small position here. So it was, what is this, the 3-minute? Let's go to the 15-minute. So it was way up there. Then what did I do? I actually shorted the market. So I click sell. Now I did a huge mistake, and I'm actually glad that I did it in front of you guys because I didn't check this. So this is important. Sometimes you would go out and come back to the same thing. You put it on 1, but when you come back, it's times 10 or times something. So it's important to actually check that. You also want to have this on isolated, so it only actually uses the funds that you put into trade there. But obviously I can't change it now because I'm already into trade. So I shorted it from there, and then when it came down on the other side, it actually took my stop loss. So I took profit on the other side, but I was still able to actually benefit from this coming down here. So previously when my mentor would do that, I would say, you know what, this guy is actually guessing because he's going long and he's shorting the market. But that is basically what you would want to obviously do when you actually see it, because you don't want to wait for this one to actually execute and then want to wake up and see, you know what, it's going down, so I might as well benefit as it's going down. So that is basically what I did. But remember, in this case, still what you do is, what I did was I went and I said, you know what, I put my stop loss, because remember, I need to put my stop loss on top. I put it on 1, 2, 3. I actually got in at 1.23. So I actually had to measure up, for instance, cancel. Let's rather not use that. Let me take you back to the analysis. Yeah, at 2.3, it obviously gets rejected. So what I wanted to do is either look for when it's through, or if it's too much, then I'll just measure 2%. I have my stop loss at 2%. But I think this was actually quite high. So 2.339 is actually quite a lot. So 2.335, for instance, put in my stop loss right there. Or the fold. So remember the one shorting down there, put in a stop loss once again. Because you never know. We entered South Africa. Load shedding can happen right now. So you put in a stop loss for obviously this is not futures. Let's see first position. We are going. And it's ×9. Wow. So 1.235. That's just going long. I think I have too many. Is this a guys? Let me just confirm here. 1, 2, 4. Right. Okay, I'm going long here. So I already put in a stop loss here. So this is USDT. Okay, that's the case. Confirm. So I put in my stop loss just in case it obviously went through there. But even if it didn't come back here and it went through, my stop loss would have kicked in. But remember, my long would still be in position and I would still benefit from it actually going up. So I'm not losing anything there because as it was going up towards my stop loss, I was actually still benefiting from this going up. So if I basically went a bit too fast there with that, you can always look at the recording once again and see how to actually do it. But if you are not doing any futures as yet, do not confuse yourself with too much information. Just do spot for now, get research a coin, get into a community, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. Do not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose, because if you're trading with money that you can afford to lose, you're putting unnecessary pressure on yourself, because you can't get yourself to actually hit the button, and that is basically what will keep you back. Just put in a few dollars and just basically perfect your method. And once your method is perfected, then you can always add money. But do not fall into that heart in putting there too much money that you cannot afford to lose. Then your heart starts pounding when you need to make the trade. Because if you put in a small amount, and then it will actually take away the risk. Any questions before we go?
Lucian, if I can just jump in there quickly, bro.
Okay.
Thank you for taking us through this the slide or this tutorial you just gave us now. It's quite helpful. I like the fact that you're taking advantage of the market like that, where you're trading both ways. We are learning. My question was this: I actually tried the same thing, and I'm not sure if it is because I was trading on the app that it was doing that, but I did that where I was in a long, right? And I saw that it was going to come down, but I didn't want to leave the long position on the same coin. So what I did was I put a sell order. But what happened is that it's almost like my order just turned into one order when my sell order kicked in. So I didn't have now two orders open where I've got one long and one short. It just kind of combined them. So I just wanted to find out, has that ever happened to you, or what is going on there?
In my opinion, when you are in a long, let's say you are in a long, let me just quickly share my screen. So yeah, I'm going long, but let's say it reaches high and I want to short it also. And then I put now an amount. Let me just sell. Did it go through now? Okay, let me just. Actually goes through. Now you see what I do is not to do it both. Yeah, if you notice that I did the one on coin on USD futures USDM, and I did the other one on CoinM futures, because when I do it with CoinM futures, then it actually wouldn't even allow me. Let me just confirm that once again. Okay, yeah. I see that it actually makes that trade one. So I never actually tried that. Did I also go times 20? Yeah. Oh, times one. Okay. So I went long here. Okay. I entered the 103. It's 106. I'm in profit. Yes, so I went long. So if I now try and short this, sell short. I haven't tried it yet, but I see it goes through. But I'll have to play around and see what actually happens there.
Okay.
But I've never tried that out.
So you're saying instead of doing it on the same I can say futures column, you'll separate it. You go into M than the other parts. Okay.
Yes.
Because I noticed that actually did it to one. Because another thing that I wanted was I saw it was going up and I wanted to just check. I was just doing an experiment to buy twice. The same thing happened again, where kind of combines my order as well.
Yes.
But then now, and this time it doesn't take the new order's entry point, nor does it take the old one. It kind of averages it out.
Yes, it averages it out. So especially what people do is also when they, let's say the order goes against you, right? Let's just close this one. Let's say you short the market, you short it, but now it goes up until here. But now it keeps going back there and going up there, going back here, going up there. So what I would do is, remember that's what I do. When it gets there, I will go long. I will short it once again. So remember I got in here, and now here it shows already minus 50 coins, for instance. When it comes here, shown as minus 25. Minus 50. So when it gets there, I short it once again. So because I only got in there, then it averages out, then it says I got in here. So next time it goes back there and it comes back here, I break even, I get out of it tight. So
okay, perfect.
We got that one.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for asking such interesting questions as well.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to know, because now what you're saying now is that you can actually minimize your losses or even break even in a bad trade by doing that.
Or you can maximize your losses in that way also. So because you're putting in more now and putting in more, but if it keeps going against you, if it comes back, then it works in your favor. But if it goes against you, you just add it to the amount. So you can look at it both ways. So yeah,
Okay, no, fantastic, bro. We learn things every day.
for sure, for sure. Okay, guys, we are already over an hour. So anything before we go?
Lucian, I don't want to steal the show today, man. But I'll go right and say it. Maybe next time we can have like since it's over an hour now, have an intro, because there are some people in here I don't really know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because I'm part of the company now, I'm not a visitor. I would like to know who's in our community before I join other communities as well, just so that we know each other, we can call each other by name and stuff like that, you know. And also when we see each other in the group, it's more easier to help one another when you have questions about trading.
Definitely.
Just for next time. Yeah.
Yes, we
Okay.
did it last week, but I omitted this week. But guys, in saying that, let's open up our cameras. Let's take a photo, a group photo, please. View gallery. There we go. There we go. Okay, please, it's not the ID. You can smile, my brother.
I thought we were taking pictures for our passports now that we're going to be traveling to Thailand.
There we go, guys. I see someone is still struggling there to get on. There we go. Thanks so much, everybody. See you guys next week.
Thanks,
Thank
Lucian.
you,
God bless
folks. Have a good evening.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.